Okay, so yesterday we practiced finding areas of shaded regions, and today we're actually going to focus on kind of switch gears a little bit and focus on complementary and supplementary angles, which we have learned from last year. And so we're going to talk about all these different types of diagrams and how we can kind of puzzle piece our way through to find missing angles. In order to do so, let's go ahead and review some vocab. So I do want you to start off by writing the terms as I go along. The first one is adjacent, and it's when two angles have a common side. We call them adjacent angles. So instead of writing everything down, I want you to write angles with a common side, and we can draw an example. So this is angle A, angle B, right? They share the common side in the middle. So these are adjacent. Let me draw pick another color. Now we have vertical, so write this down, or vertically opposite. Okay, and so this is when two lines intersect or cross, and they are called vertical. So when two lines intersect, go ahead and write that in your notes. And here's the example of vertical angles. So A and B are vertical angles. They are vertically opposite, and they are also going to be equal. We're going to learn more about that in a bit. Okay, the next one is perpendicular. Okay, and two lines are considered perpendicular if they intersect in one point. And so that's if they cross and they create a 90-degree angle, right? So that's a 90-degree angle. These are perpendicular lines. Okay, so those three images should be drawn next to these vocab words in your notes. We're going to continue to discuss adjacent angles, and we're going to talk about how the measurements of adjacent angles add. So we have angle A, if I highlight that, and then angle B, right? Those share the same side, and therefore in order to find angle C, we would add them up to find the entire thing, right, of these two adjacent angles. Then we also talked about vertical angles. So here's another visual to look at. And so vertical angles have equal measures. So again, make sure you have your visual that these two are equal. So for example, if this one over here is 30 degrees, then that means this one over here is 30 degrees. Actually, conveniently enough, there are also vertical angles here. So if this was, let's say 95 degrees, then this one would also be 95 degrees. Now I'm just purely making this up, but the numbers up, but the fact of the matter is that because they are vertical, they will be equal. Alrighty, continuing down, go ahead and write down angles on a line, right? Angles on a straight line, like we see over here, are always going to add up to 180 degrees. So if I go and highlight angle A plus angle B, those two angles together equal 180 degrees. So please write down what I have written on the side. Add up to 180 degrees. We're also going to learn a new term of what that's called in just a bit. And then if we talk about angles at a point, so let me get a new highlighter. So here's the point right here. Oh, that's not my highlighter. Here's my highlighter. So angle A and angle B and angle C, actually, if I go from one side to the other, forms exactly 360 degrees. So the sum of angles on a point add up to 360 degrees. So make sure the pieces that I'm writing out and the visuals are drawn in your notes. We do have two more angles to go over, and that's complementary angles and supplementary angles. Complementary angles are angles that add up to 90 degrees. Right? So they are forming a right angle. Okay, so if we see that 30 is here to here and 60 is from here to here, we know if we add up 30 plus 60, we would get 90 degrees. Therefore, we can call them complementary. There's also another term called supplementary angles, and that's when there are angles that add up to 180 degrees.